Hello and welcome to your in-depth weekly horoscope for week commencing the 17th of April. This is for the Sun or the Ascendant. I'm going to give an overview that we can all collectively relate to. Of course, this week sees an enormous event with the solar eclipse, the first of the year, right on the last degree, which is a critical degree in astrology, 29 degrees Aries, the anaretic point, but squaring up with the mighty but tiny Pluto. What does that mean? We also have Mercury slamming on the brakes the next day on Friday through to the middle of May in the sector of everyday money. But actually Mercury forges a very constructive link this week with the feisty Mars, so I need to share that with you. But if you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for joining me once more. If you're new to my channel, it's great to have you with us. I'd be honoured if you'd subscribe. Please click or tap on the bell notification symbol. So let's just explore what we start this week. We have the Sun and we also have Jupiter and Chiron in the sign of Aries. And if you recall, right at the start of Aries season, we had a new moon. So what makes this week really notable is the second new moon in the sign of Aries in a month. So really rare. And Aries energy is about freshness. It's about initiation, drive. It's the start zodiac sign. And it's where we really get things going. It's that germination energy. But sometimes that means, a bit like the Fool card, we have to take a step into the unknown. But the other way that we can use Aries energy is to inject greater drive and fire, because of the fire nature of this sign, into ongoing plans. So it doesn't have to be a start plan, but because the Sun moves on Thursday, immediately after the eclipse, into the sign of Taurus, joining up with, of course, Mercury, the North Node and Uranus, I feel that whatever ideas we're germinating this week, they need to in some ways be ones that can then pretty immediately become more tangible. So it's not just about the thrust, it is about what we can actually manifest into something more tangible and lasting. Where does Pluto fit into this? Well, I feel that there could be some pain with the gain, because when the Sun and Pluto are squaring as they are this week within 3 degrees, we can get some growing pains. We could resist some change that we need to make, cling on to what we think is important to us, but somehow or another events can seem to have an impact on us which doesn't necessarily make it feel like we're in control, because Pluto is a lot about control. So just be conscious of that. There are some complexities there. But if you would like to ascend above this zodiac broadcast and understand what more serious astrology can do for you personally, if you give me 3 pieces of your birth data of time, date and place of birth, or if you only have your date and place, I can produce for you either my natal life roadmap report, which will help you to get a much more intimate understanding of the patterns that have played out in your life, but also work with them more closely future forwards. But both analyses, the second is based on the Sun as the ascendant, but both these analyses can be complemented with 30% off with my 12-month personal forecast. Again, totally unique to you, and these can give you searing insights into when you make your moves. If you're someone who's really into YouTube videos, the solar package will work really well for you. If you have some sense of your ascendant and more serious astrology, stick to the standard package. But please see the link below for more. So Pisces, your week commencing the 17th of April forecast sees a lot of focus still on your sector of everyday resources, self-worth, money, but also on life's pleasurable ingredients, good food, for example. And you may have shared some kind of meal or indulged your most loved calorific goodies on the back of last week's conjunction between the Sun and Jupiter. And of course the solar eclipse, which is developing later this week, can give you an opportunity to push forwards with improving that core foundational part of your situation. But it does square up with Pluto. So Pluto for you in the 12th house, but it's so on the cusp of the 11th house, and the Sun of course moves from the 2nd to the 3rd also on Thursday. So basically the Sun squaring Pluto influences 4 zodiac signs, so it's quite complex. I feel that there's something around your situation which could get amplified in terms of its impact upon you, and it could be around those everyday communications. So for example, with Mercury going into retrograde on Friday, that could have an impact on who you're chatting with on a pretty regular basis. There could be some crosswires, of course. Maybe some text going to prove unreliable. If you're buying or selling anything online, there could be some gremlins that creep in there as well. But of course the 3rd house is about our ideals, so it's an opportunity to think yours over. Mercury earlier in the week is in such a really potent link with Mars. It could be good to plan some kind of social event towards the end of the week, but Mercury retrograde could snag it. But I think essentially what Pluto is saying to you, whilst it retains its role in Aquarius, is some of the things that you were gaining from Saturn's transition through Aquarius, you may still need to dive deeper in unlocking and understanding some of the shadow parts of your situation or the way you are. But the solar eclipse is saying that the foundations of your world may not quite work in terms of some of your ideals. So you may have to be really pragmatic, in other words. In terms of making your financial situation work, you can't have too high expectations. But certainly, if you have got a domestic appliance that perhaps is due for a good service, like a washing machine or a dishwasher or a vacuum cleaner, it wouldn't be a surprise if this would be a time when they may be a little unreliable. But also, someone could get in touch completely out of the blue, and you could actually be quite pleased to get that message. It's been a real pleasure being with you, Pisces. Thank you so much for joining me. Please like, comment, or share.